Welcome back to another episode of Dorset Wine Festival. Today we're here to record our 5th episode with our friends of Dorset Cruises down there, and they are in for a treat because I got something special to give to them directly from the south of Italy, and it's wine from another sponsor of the festival, Ippolito 1845, aka also My Family Vineyard. Let's go and give it to them, shall we? Thank you very much indeed, sir. We're ready to go.
Simone, how you
We
doing?
made it.
Good.
And what a day we picked up for it.
Perfect. Welcome aboard.
Thank you very much indeed. I have a little gift from you.
Ah,
And this is wine from My Family Vineyard, Ippolito 1845.
thank you very much.
Thanks for having us. Let's
Thank you
come
very
on board.
much. Come on, let's go.
So we're here with Mike Corica, Dorset Cruises on the Dorset Queen, one of the main sponsors of Dorset Wine Festival. Mike, what a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much for having
It's
us.
good to have you, and it's good to be involved with the wine festival.
And it's good
this
to
year.
have the sun shining on us as well. For
Perfect,
changes.
isn't it? Pick the best day of the year.
That's fantastic. So, for people that are wondering, we're not in the south of France, we're not in
No.
the south of Italy, we are in Poole, Dorset, and we are about to show you some of the wonderful scenery that you'll be able to see via Dorset Cruises in Dorset Harbour.
Absolutely. It's the second biggest harbour in the world, natural harbour. Over 100 miles of coastline in here to explore, so let's get going.
Let's get going, shall we? Follow us. Guys, if you don't hear back from me, Joe killed me because I damaged and or lost his precious and valuable property. So if my body goes missing, ask for Joe. He knows what I am.
Either that or the pirates got you.
Yeah. So, Mike, obviously we're leaving now Poole Quay, which is a very historic place. The boat itself is very historic, as we know, it's the oldest going boat basically in the south of England, built in 1938, if I'm correct.
Yeah, built in 1938 up in Scotland. And,
Oh, wow.
And as it stands, she is the oldest operating passenger boat in the south of England.
Which is quite amazing, isn't it?
And obviously she's well, she's done so many years service both as a passenger boat, but also obviously she was involved in the war effort as well. For a period of time she was owned by the US Navy, and you know,
'Cause
so
I've seen the boat has passed hands like quite a few different times. So it was used during war times, maybe in the efforts of rescuing people from Dunkirk,
Yeah,
which
she's-
obviously people were living not far from here in terms of the D-Day and all the rest of it. And now to have it still here, nearly 100 years later, and it's quite amazing, isn't it? But that comes with a price, right? In order to maintain a boat like this is not quite easy.
I
is it?
mean, the thing with wooden boats is, you know, wood and water, they don't mix so well.
Not too
So-
much, do they?
So the maintenance effort every year is huge. So in February we'll take her out of the water for about 6 weeks, and there's a whole lot of effort that goes into maintaining the hull, you know, making sure that there's no rot, repairing anything that does set in. We have to have a very vigorous inspection every year by the Maritime Coastal Agency to make sure that everything is absolutely like spick and
Spotless.
span.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, for John, he's proud of it every year when we get such positive feedback from the MCA about the condition that she's in, because she is in immaculate condition.
And you know, standing on it now, you will never ever think that this boat is nearly 100 years old. I mean, it's spotless. Again, it's absolute mint condition, but still that being said, it does give you that vibe of vintage, of lived, of
Yes,
been
yeah.
going through a lot of phases in our life, and I guess this is what makes her special as well, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, we've always looked at it considering the historical significance and you know the life that this boat has had. We don't consider ourselves to own the boat. We consider ourselves custodians because
Wow,
we have to look
that's
after
amazing.
it and make sure that it's, you know, we want it to be here in another 85, 100 years.
That is amazing. That's absolutely amazing. But another thing that I was really interested about is being the, again, oldest operating boat in the South Coast. Do people know about that? Are people really considering this as a plus these days, or do
Yeah,
people
well-
look for modern things?
Well, I think when you look in, you know, in any walk of life, there's a huge group of people that love anything vintage.
Indeed, I'm one of them,
and-
so to speak.
And I think certainly, like, you know, our audience is a mature audience because I think you can agree as you get older, you have much more respect for things that are
For
historical.
quality,
and,
yeah.
You know, it's
Pretty
not-
much like
yeah.
wine, isn't it?
Absolutely. You know, it's not all about the new and shiny Sunseekers, which obviously they're also amazing boats. And, you know, like for me, I love going out on my jet ski and enjoying my life on a very modern piece of kit. But being on here, it's a completely different sort of, it
Feel
relaxes you,
and
it
vibe.
calms you, and you can just really, you know, relax and enjoy yourself and
also
get a greater appreciation of the water and the harbour and the scenery. Whereas I think sometimes when you're on the new shiny boat, you're more interested in the boat
in the boat itself rather than what's around it. And equally, do you feel being on a boat like this, have that sensation of, wow, people from the war have been here, people maybe from royal families have been here, all of that. It does give a different sensation to it.
Yeah, I mean, if the boat could talk, I'm sure she's got a lot of stories. I mean, I know just from our time that we've had it, there's been, you know, multiple weddings, also burials, because people come out to spread ashes at sea. You know, if their grandfather was in the Navy, it's a lovely, fitting tribute to the end of their life to be able to come out somewhere where they love and have that real sort of, you know, beautiful moment. But again, the weddings, we've had christenings, we've pretty much, you name the occasion, we've experienced it on board.
And I mean, when you got a view like this,
oh,
what else can you ask for?
well, this is it. And on like a day like today, there's nowhere
Which,
else in the
just
world
for
that's
people
better.
watching, this is common here in Dorset, in Bournemouth. We always, as you've seen from the previous documentary episode, we always had the sunshine, so this is guaranteed.
We do get enough sunny days. But, you know, even if it's not a sunny day, she's beautifully fitted out inside, and we can still have a great time. And, you know, the scenery is still the same out the window, even if the sun's not in the sky. It's still a beautiful place to be.
And again, is the second biggest harbour in the world, pretty much natural harbour. So
Yes, it's the second biggest natural harbour in the world. Let's say there's over 100 miles of coastline within the harbour, and you know, we have so many different routes that we can take around. There's the 5 islands in the harbour. If the tide's right, we can also take her up the river to Wareham.
oh wow,
So we do that quite regularly. So when we've worked with English Oak, we cruise down the Wareham River, and that cruise involves a 2-course lunch at the Priory, which is, you know, it's just an all-round beautiful combination, because you've got like good Dorset produce from English Oak, you've got the amazing scenery, and then obviously you get to the Priory, and again, that is, you know, a historic building. You know,
and arriving on the Dorset Queen, I think that's the icing on the cake, is it?
And you know, when you get down there, everyone's on the quay, stops to have a look and, you know, take their photos. And you may have seen when you were coming down today, people often stop as they're walking past to take a photo of the boat.
Does that make you feel super proud? I mean, to keep her, you and John, to keep her in this condition, isn't it a proud moment when people stop and appreciate it?
Yeah, it's a great moment when we get to the end of our maintenance program. So kind of towards the end of March, when we get her back in the water, and everything is just completely perfect, and you just look at her and it's like,
it's all
wow.
worth it.
Because, you know, towards the end of the season, you start to notice little marks here and there, and you know, we keep on top of it as much as we can, but when we can get her out of the water and just dedicate all our time to the maintenance.
That's amazing. And that's, I think, dedication is all about giving the end consumer, your clients, the best possible experience, right?
Yeah, and it's, you know, I think to an extent it's a labour of love, you know.
It is. It has to be. It has to be.
You couldn't do something like we do here if you didn't have a passion for what happens on board and for the boat herself. You know, she takes a lot of looking after, but
and you know, it's a great fitting when you think about also what we're trying to do with the festival and what we're trying to promote with the festival, which is all of Dorset excellence or South Coast excellence, to have people like you as sponsors, as partners, and see that level of dedication really fits in. And for us also with the festival, the efforts behind it, it just tirelessly
I can
continuing.
imagine it must be a crazy amount of work to do everything that you're doing for this festival. I mean, you know, we know how much work goes into putting on events on here, whether that's, you know, an afternoon tea or a gin and jazz cruise on a Sunday. You know, a lot of work goes into setting up all of these things, but you're doing it on a whole different scale, which I couldn't quite imagine how.
It's all down to passion, as you said before. If you don't have that passion to fuel you every single day, you don't really have a purpose.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think it's beautiful to hear from you guys that you still have, after so many years, you still have that passion to keep this going in this condition. It's not just, yeah, we'll let her out as best as we want her to be at top 100% every single year and give our clients a full experience every single year. So thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for having us on board.
Thank you very much.
We're going to take a look at the harbour as we go by. Mike, so we're now in the belly of the beast.
We are.
And wow, does she look beautiful. And I guess this is the original setup pretty much of the boat itself.
It's hard to know exactly what the original setup is. I mean, these wooden structures on the saloons here, they're original. So this is part of the original boat. Whether they had tables around them and booth seating, obviously we don't know. But when it came to refurbishing it, it was all about doing her justice and you know, making sure that we maintained that kind of original feel and, you know, something that complemented a boat of this era.
And it's pretty unique when you think about it. You wouldn't have many other ways of feeling that sort of era on a boat unless you are on Dorset Cruises.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And just at the back of us, we're now passing some of the 5 islands that are part of basically Poole Harbour.
Yes, there's 5 islands within the harbour. I mean, obviously everyone knows Brownsea Island, which
big one,
is of
famous
course
one.
National
Red
Trust, red squirrels, peacocks,
yeah.
Napoleonic cannons. You know,
I didn't even know that.
There's all sorts of things.
Always
going
a school
on there.
day.
And then the next island here is Fursey, which is the controversial island because it is obviously it's an oil rig. So they are pulling, I don't know how much, but it is sort of thousands of barrels of oil a day out of there. It's
wow!
It's quite a productive little setup.
And then we see an island back there with a private house.
Yes, oh no, that is the oil rig there. This island here, this one is Green Island, which is privately owned, private residence, just has one single house on it, beautiful house. How the other half live, as you might say. But yeah, and then the other two islands are also privately owned. So,
And how big is this? Because we've been cruising now for a good 20 minutes. And if you can show, Joe, at the back there, how vast this harbour is and how green it looks and how beautiful it is in the sunshine. It's truly spectacular, isn't it?
well, that's it. So only Sydney Harbour is bigger than this one. And you know, when you think of, we've all seen the images of Sydney Harbour with the, you know, with the Opera House.
Yeah.
It's enormous, but this is second only to that in terms of natural harbour size. Let's say there's over.
But not
100.
second in terms of beauty. I will say probably
Arguably better.
arguably better in terms of beauty.
I would say this has got more to it. And
How
obviously a lot
lucky
of it-
we are to live here. It's
and
just
it's
it's
obviously
incredible.
a nature reserve as well. So, you know, the vast majority of it is protected. So you're not allowed to make noise in certain areas of it because they want to protect the birds' habitats. Then you've got sea lions living here. There's dolphins here.
Maybe we're gonna see one today.
You could only hope. But,
Hopefully they're not gonna jump on board, are they?
but no, but we do see them from time to time, and obviously they do come out to sunbathe, the sea lions. So we might just.
Isn't it that just the beauty about this? It's so natural. It's so wild. It's so different. You know, it's not man-made. It's not something that is being built. This is natural.
And also every day is different. You know, if you come in the spring, it's different to when you come in the summer or the autumn.
And do you guys operate all season long?
So we are very much a seasonal business. You wouldn't want to be out here in January when
That was my
when
follow-up question.
when it's bitterly cold. And to be honest, you know, it's not where you could showcase it in its greatest light. And you know, there wouldn't be the demand. So from a business perspective, it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
So no, we tend to run more or less for 6 months, which is sort of April through to September, but we do still take bookings through October, November, December as well. So it's like at Christmas, for instance, we do
It's a special event.
yeah, well, we do 3 events at Christmas. So we do kind of like a festive afternoon tea cruise. So you can come out, mulled wine, mince pies, that sort of thing, and it's a couple of hour cruise
bad.
around the harbour. And you know,
And people can book through your website?
yeah, that can be booked for our website, which is dorsetcruises.co.uk. I've got a feeling the Christmas ones may have sold out already because they are
If you're
very
watching
popular.
this, it's too late.
and that's the thing, you know, we do afternoon tea with bottomless prosecco every Wednesday, but again, I think that is sold out all the way through. Again, so
Well, it's definitely a good problem to have.
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
we're
it's
glad
a
to hear it. It means things are going well.
So we're looking at next year. We're going to extend that into trying to offer maybe a Tuesday or Thursday as well, because the demand is there.
Demand is there, so
And,
and hopefully the weather is there too. So
And we do get it as well. Some corporates will do it, or people will do it for their birthday or whatever it is. They'll book the boat privately for a private afternoon tea for sort of 30 guests, and you know, that's a lovely little afternoon thing to do.
there you go.
Thank you very much.
Now we get to the good part. So you are about to try one of my family wines, which is the oldest vineyard in the south of Italy, to match the oldest boat in service in the south of England. Cheers.
Cheers.
So the reason why I've chosen this bottle is called Mare Chiaro, which translates in Italian to the crystal clear sea. So it's a tribute to the Ionian Sea that we have in front of us, but I thought it would be fitting being on the water today. Thank you very much once again for having us. John, obviously you're gonna have to wait later on, my friend, because you're the captain and you're not allowed to drink.
Very nice.
And if you can taste at the back, saltiness,
Yeah.
that's because the vineyard sits
Salt
500
out.
meters directly in front of the sea. So when the sea is very rough, all the sea salt lands on the vines and lands on the ground, and it makes it salty. This is one of our best sellers in summer. Right, we're now anchored here in the beautiful Pool Harbour. Mike, thank you very much for all you've given us, but I think it's time now we have a chat with Captain Morgan, shall we? So I'll let you enjoy your wine.
He's the sailor here, so...
And we'll catch up in a minute.
Cheers.
Right, we are here with Captain Morgan, obviously, as the title says, the captain of Dorset Queen.
Yep.
Captain Morgan, can I call you just Captain? Can I call
You can call me John now.
John, is that am I allowed to do that? I'm not breaking the law.
Even though we're still on board. It's
Even
okay.
we're still on board.
Yeah.
John, obviously you, the captain of the boat, you've been on the boat for quite some time.
Yeah.
How does it still feel to be out on such an historic boat pretty much every day in summer season?
Yeah, I'm very proud. I mean, the history to this boat means I'm just a small part of that. This is my 8th year on board, so I'm just a custodian. You know, the boat's been involved in so much, and I think you mentioned earlier the Dunkirk. You know, there's so much history to this boat, and I'm just proud to be part of it now.
So when did you first, let's say, captain the boat, or when did you first set foot on the boat?
Well, so when I was a Cub Scout, this boat was orange, and it was owned by the Greenslade family on Poole Quay, and I got this boat to Brownsea for Cub Camp. So that's quite a few years ago.
Wow,
yeah.
Okay. They're quite different.
The boat's originally from Scotland, but it's been all over the UK.
Yeah.
Different colour paints, different names. So back then it was orange, it was Alice Marie. It then went to Falmouth, and then my previous business partner brought her back to Poole in 2008, renamed her Dorset Queen, painted her blue.
Right.
So when I first got involved in Dorset Queen, it was about 8 years ago. She was blue, and when I was walking around the boat, I recognised bits of this boat, but I couldn't work out why. And it was because it was the Alice Marie I'd been on as a Cub Scout, but he'd done a massive renovation on her, so there were so many differences, but there was little bits. I was like, I recognise that. So yeah, that was when I realised.
Was it then that you fell in love with it?
Yeah, I bought a ticket to go on Dorset Queen for a cruise up Wareham River, because I love boats, funny enough. And I love Dorset, so I went on a cruise up Wareham River, and I just fell in love with it. But thought this would be perfect for like events. So I went and chatted to the captain, who I knew because I'm a local. I'd been living abroad for 7 years at that time, so it made me fall back in love with Dorset, being on the water in Dorset. And he said, "Well, the owner's looking to sell," and yeah, that's how it all came about.
And we're very thankful that you made that choice, because otherwise we wouldn't be here today.
I need to have a few more grey hairs now, though.
Well, I think that comes with the experience, as I say. So, like a fine wine, my friend, you're aging well.
Ah.
And that's the other thing that, for me, is quite interesting. After 8 years, you know, since the very first second I've been on board, you've been super enthusiastic about this whole thing. Does that enthusiasm ever drops, or is there like a sheer passion that you have about being part of the history of this boat now?
No, I'm still passionate, but what I do think helps is we have manic busy summers, and then obviously the winter isn't as busy because we're in England and it gets cold, but that gives you the rest you need, and then you come back all, you know, revigorated and ready to go again.
Ready to go again. Yeah, that's amazing. Now, obviously you guys use this boat for a variety of things. What would you say is the main event that you guys do on here during the season? Funnily
enough, about 5-6 years ago, I said, let's do afternoon tea on a Wednesday. And it was just because with our ticketed events, it's about getting people on the boat, like a shop window. They come on, they fall in love with it and say, I want to get married on this boat, I want to have my birthday on this boat. So afternoon tea was just a little idea, do it on a Wednesday. And I think we've just did it in June, July. And then now it starts in April, ends in September. We're now selling next year. This year sold out a couple of months ago. So it's become the most popular one, but it was just a little, you know, fill a gap in the midweek. But our private charters are like, weddings, corporates are really popular. So we do lots of corporate entertainment on here and birthday parties. And another one that's become more and more popular each year is celebrations of life. Okay. So we do like ash scatterings. But if you think, you know, like myself, you know, I've got such an affiliation with the sea and this area, it's natural.
That's quite unique as well, because I mean, do it in this place is special, isn't it? And if if it's for somebody that's been living here, has been loving this place like as much as I do, and probably you do too, it's something quite nice and quite fitting with the occasion. And for me, another thing that really caught my eye when I was looking at the website was, as you said, the corporate events. Because doing an event, we're doing an event in October with the festival, I always like to think outside the box and like, okay, what would be something that is gonna blow people's mind? And I mean, we were literally discussing with Joe a minute ago. So next year's sponsors event, we're probably gonna do it on here because it just takes your breath away. It's such a cool thing to do. It lets you really enjoy the way that you guys cruise around. You really take it all in. You're not rushing it like as if you were. I go around on jet skis around there, and it's quick. It's a moment that passes by too fast. Whether with you guys, you really take your time. You really enjoy and see every little piece of the surroundings that we have, which is quite amazing. So I don't think people quite realize how lucky we are to live here.
Well, the thing is as well, as I've seen it literally, I'm not exaggerating, 1,000,000 times, but I still get lost in it. The other week we were doing a coach party cruise, so I do a commentary about the local area. It was going to be an hour and a half, and I went for an hour and 45 minutes because I was doing it, and I thought, well, I don't need to speed up. Everyone's enjoying themselves. I know they're on a coach group, so no one's got car parking to worry about. But what job would you do where you'd think, I'm just going to add some more on?
Just rush
you
it off.
Dig a road and think, I'll just dig a bit more. You just,
And do you think people also love that part of education that you guys do on the boat as well? Because it's not just about taking you out, it's also about, like you were doing with us earlier on, you will tell us about what the little islands do and every little piece of information that there is about marine life or history behind it. Doesn't it add to the prestige of the boat itself?
Yeah, and I love doing the local commentary because I'm proud to be from here. But it's another great thing about this job is because you've got the ferries that run to Brownsea and they do it all day, every day. So it's quite repetitive. You know, it's still a beautiful surrounding. But one trip we're doing a wedding, obviously they don't want a commentary. But the next trip could be a coach party that do want a commentary. So I'm not getting overrun doing commentaries, which means I've got enthusiasm for it because it's not constant. Yeah. So yeah, I just love doing it really.
And coming to the wine festival, obviously for us it's the first year. We're trying to do something like you guys, very unique, to bring the best of Dorset together pretty much.
Yeah.
Where do you see the connection between Dorset Wine Festival and Dorset Cruises?
Well, one of our most popular cruises is the one we do with English Oak Vineyard.
Which we've been already?
Yeah, Dorset's best vineyard. That started a few years ago as Battle of the Vineyards, originally with Hampshire vineyards. And it was 5 different vineyards battling each other for like the title. Yeah.
On the boat?
On the boat, yeah. And it was great. But then the next year we did it with Dorset vineyards. Then we did a mixture of Dorset, Hampshire and Wiltshire. But when Dorset English Oak got involved, they just kept winning. And I think they won it 3 times in a row. And it's like, yeah, it's getting silly now. And I feel bad for the other vineyards. So this year we did an exclusive one with them. They brought all 6 of their cuvées on. And we go to the Priory in Wareham, which is a prestige restaurant in Wareham as well, which really showcases Dorset on the river. And that's one of our biggest cruises. It's once a year. So you need to get
that's only once a year.
Yeah, you need to get your tickets.
I need to get my tickets for the next one.
That sells out quick. So
indeed.
The thing with that is I can only release the tickets in November when we get next year's tide books because we're going to Wareham River. It's really tidal. But yeah, they get released in November and they sell normally.
Well, keep a couple for me for next year, please. Definitely. For me, having you guys as a sponsor and as partner really means a lot because obviously knowing Mike, but also seeing what you guys do for our local area and showcasing all the beautiful things that we have. Pretty much like the festival wants to do is a celebration of local, a celebration of Dorset, Hampshire, and pretty much our beautiful coastline. It really means a lot to me to have people like you on board supporting us and vice versa, for us to be able to support you and get more and more people to know about what you guys do, where you are, and the beautiful things that you offer. So the final question will be, what is next for you?
Well, we're always trying to be innovative and think of new things to do, but I think we are good at what we do already. So it's just more of the same, but just always trying to excel and be better
and
than
every
you were
year
last
be
time.
on the top.
Yeah. The only thing I wish I could control was the weather.
Unfortunately, I don't have an answer to that myself, but weather allowing, for people that are watching this, we have a little surprise from Dorset Cruises during the festival. So if the weather is clement, watch out, because we might see this little legend of a boat nearby the castle. I can't give you the full details right now, but weather allowing, it will be great to have you there. So
Yeah,
thank you very much for having
Thank
on
you.
board. Thank you very much for showing us around. And as I said, if you've been here long enough, if you've been here just an hour, if you've been here for a week, make sure that you come and see these guys, book your cruise, come for an afternoon tea next time they are available, because honestly, this is gonna blow your mind. It's the most beautiful scenery that you will ever see, and it's right here in Dorset. Thank you very much once again, and we look forward to seeing you at the festival.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Turns on!
Have a glass of wine, please.
Right away, good sir.
Here.
You ask, we give it to you. Right. Organic wine, Greco Bianco grape,
Cheers.
oldest vineyard in the south of Italy,
On the oldest boat?
on the
South
oldest
coast?
boat in the south coast.
Lovely.
Verdict?
I needed that.
That's what we like to hear. So, we're back, we made it. What a beautiful evening.
Lovely.
I think we're gonna be back here soon, and we're definitely gonna be at the festival with some big news. So keep your eyes peeled, and we'll see you at the next episode.